YouTube. Now, me having my hair down might not look much to you, but I've just got out of the shower, but I don't normally have my hair down. But I decided I need to look in the camera. My phone's on the side. I decided, you know what, if I'm going to create a YouTube channel, what better way to start it than 100% just sharing with people who you are, who you really are, and where you're at in life. And the reason I'm doing that is because I want to go on a journey with this YouTube channel and ultimately have fun, because I have been working on business flipping heck for about 12 years. I'm 32 now, and I've made countless mistakes. The pursuit has been absolutely relentless, and I've decided to share that journey with people honestly, and all the mistakes, the failures, because I've made so many failures, mistakes, the rest of it, whatever you want to call it. And I want to share that with you guys, so hopefully you can learn and basically ultimately not be me. So let's get into it. When I left school when I was 16, didn't really get on with school myself, if I'm honest. You know, I was always the kid that was buying and selling sweets at school. I was buying and selling mobile phones, games, consoles. I loved it. I loved the hustle. I still do now. I left school when I was 16, average grades at best. And I was a plumber. Actually, I was an air conditioning engineer for a year, and I was a plumber for 2.5 years after. So 3.5 years in the building industry. I absolutely hated it. My boss was an absolute nightmare, and so were the people that I worked with. So basically, I was just turning 20 years old, and I decided, you know what, I've had enough. I'm not going to take this anymore. Went to the pub with my mates, just said, because my mate Tom was hating life as well, and we discussed ideas, and we were throwing ideas around. You've never heard so many ridiculous ideas in your life. And then eventually a fish and chip van came up, and we were like, you know what, let's go for it. So I got a £5,000 loan, a £3,000 overdraft. Look at me playing with my hair. What's going on? I told you I don't normally have it down. Anyway, I got a £5,000 loan, £3,000 overdraft, and my mate Tom got a £5,000 loan, and we bought a fish and chip van off eBay for £8,250. And I'd never run a business before, clearly. I'd never driven a van, never cooked fish and chips, didn't know anything about anything. It was ultimately, truthfully, that was absolutely ridiculous. Just diving in like that. Literally the next day I quit my job, and we bought that van. And for the next 3 months, we made countless mistakes. You know, put it this way, the first fish and chips that we served, we put them down in front of the customer, and the customer said, lads, what is that? You cannot serve that. So do you know what we did? We closed the hatch and went home. But after 3 months of mistake after mistake after mistake, we got the recipe right, and then the business worked. For the next 3.5 years, ran the business. I actually bought Tom out after a year, ran it myself. Then Wayne came into the business, and then ultimately I moved down south to sell it and sold the business. And guess what? So the business worked. Those fish and chips actually went on to win national awards from being the worst fish and chips you've ever seen. And then they actually went on to win awards. But guess what? I spent every penny that I made throughout the entire business and afterwards, because at the time I had a gambling addiction. Fortunately, I don't now. But like I said, I'm going to be honest with everyone, because there's too many people who are selling people bullshit nowadays, and that entrepreneurship and business is easy and selling people on success. I'm not going to sell you that at all. I'm going to tell you about the mistakes, who I am. And like I said, so hopefully you don't be that guy or girl. So I sold the business, moved down south, and then I got into car sales. I was a sales executive at Mercedes and Volkswagen. Never sold cars before, but I actually did really well. And I became the top selling sales executive first out of 136 sales executives, made money, it was really good, but ultimately I always wanted to work for myself. I didn't want to work for other people. And I'm still doing that now, and we'll get to the journey. So I left car sales and then I set up another business for a very short while called CarSaver. And listen to this for a ridiculous mistake. So I didn't know anything about marketing. With Tom and Sam's Kitchen, the fish and chip van, we leafleted, common sense in general about appearance and looking good. We had chef whites, chef hats, aprons, all the rest of it. So we got the appearance right. And that's probably is one of my strengths, if anything, is probably just getting an appearance, your branding right. But ultimately what I completely failed with there, and what ultimately matters, is getting the value right, getting the creation right, because that is what will ultimately lead to demand in the future. And this is where I made mistakes. So anyway, I set up a business called CarSaver, and that's because I was working at Mercedes and Volkswagen, and I learned, ultimately that customers are paying way more than they actually should be. So I set up a company called CarSaver, and my plan was to negotiate on the customer's behalf, and then just work off a commission based on what we save the customer. So then it doesn't cost the customer anything, they can only save. But listen to this for a ridiculous mistake. I took £3,000 of my full marketing budget and I put it in petrol pump advertising, every single penny. Now I think back, what an idiot. Like, how can you actually be that stupid? But that is actually what I did. And I was 24 years old when I did it. And it didn't work. We didn't get a single phone call. There was some thought behind it, in terms of, we placed the advertisements in petrol stations that were outside of the dealerships. When I worked in the dealership, customers used to come and park their car there, fill up their car, they'd take test drives and go fill up the car there. So my thinking was, well, a customer, they goes to these garages, they'll see this petrol pump as they're buying a car, and then they'll give us a call. Well, that never happened. We didn't get a single phone call. It was a complete and utter failure. But it did teach me to spread wide, basically, when you're marketing. Don't put all of your efforts into one singular thing. It was absolutely stupid. But anyway, moving on. How to fail at life. I then sold, so I left, so CarSaver didn't work. I was interested, now here's another thing, and I'm going to be talking about this on this channel a lot, because I wasted 2 years of my life going in the wrong direction because of this. I was introduced to multi-level marketing. Now, for those who don't know what multi-level marketing is, pyramid selling, direct selling, network marketing, whatever name it's disguised as, it's basically, ultimately, it's recruiting other people, selling products, getting them to sell products to other people. And what I learned with that is, one, ultimately, all you do in that is sell people dreams. And that is the dream of becoming rich. And that's all anyone ever sells, because that's why it's so heavily focused on how much money you can make, and this person's making this money. And I know I'm ranting on this one, but I'm going to talk about this a lot in future videos. And like I said, I want to share people my experiences so you can not make the same stupid mistakes and waste loads of time like I have in life. And yeah, basically the whole thing is just to sell people dreams. And there's the pressure sales tactics are disgusting, and I'm not going to go into it too much. Screw it, not in this video. I'll share more in future videos. So I got involved in multi-level marketing. I wasted 2 years at least of my life. Another thing, talking about that, be careful what you read, because I was actually introduced to a book called Think and Grow Rich by Napoleon Hill. If you've not read it, I can guarantee someone you know will have read that book. Now, I actually found a YouTube channel, CoffeeZilla. Big up CoffeeZilla. If you ever see this, you probably won't. And it was basically just exposing scams, exposing people, doing research. Guess what? I got handed this book, or told to buy this book, when I got introduced to multi-level marketing, and I trusted the person that was introducing me to this business opportunity. I bought the book, I read the book, and guess what? Think and Grow Rich. Do you know what? That's all I did. That's all I did, is I just thought for the next 2 years, and I didn't become rich. Do you know what happened to me? Think and grow poor. That's what happened. That's what happened to me. So basically, I found out Napoleon Hill, the author of this book, apparently, for those who don't know, I'm not going to go into it too much, but I will be talking about all of this in the future, because it is something that I am passionate about now, because I've seen that this has done a lot of damage to people wasting time, people spending countless hours going in the wrong direction, really because of wrongful information, or fraudful information is the truth. So it turns out anyway, the author of this book, ultimately, not going into too much now, but he was a fraudster basically, and he was one of the OGs of the multi-level marketing game, which failed in a motor company. And he was, done for fraud, went on the run. This is an author of a book that's trying to teach you how to be rich, just to let you know. This is who I was learning from, a fraudster who robbed people of money, went on the run, and pretty much did this all his life. And then basically even the book itself is based on him apparently interviewing a few hundred millionaires at the time, self-made millionaires, and was introduced or sent on this mission by Andrew Carnegie. Well, anyway, the story turns out that basically there's no evidence whatsoever that he ever actually met any of these people or interviewed any people. And there's also no evidence whatsoever that he even met Andrew Carnegie, that apparently set him on this mission. So basically, what I'm saying to you is, more than likely, it's all a complete fabrication. And then he made millions from selling that book. So basically, at the time, this person who's teaching you how to become rich is a fraudster that's broke. He's made up a load of bullshit, and now he's put it down in a book. Millions of people have bought that book, and that made him rich. And that's what happened. And because I bought that book, because multi-level marketing is based around that book, I wasted 2 years of my life, at least. And probably, if not even more, in terms of further thinking. Anyway, we continue. You can tell I'm passionate about multi-level marketing. It's a dirty industry, in my opinion. So, we continue. My good friend Nathan actually had an entrepreneurial community, Greenwich Entrepreneurs in London. If that's still going in the future, big up Greenwich Entrepreneurs. And I was starting to do speaking, and I was actually just sharing my honest story of Tom and Simon's Kitchen and all the mistakes that we made, because there were countless mistakes. Our fryers caught fire. I drove into a petrol station with the fryers on full blast. A price board flew out in the A52. It was absolutely stupid. I'll actually share that journey as well in full on upcoming videos. So I started speaking, and basically I started meeting other entrepreneurs, and then I started to realize the value of collaboration and actually working with other people, with a true network of people. And I set up a business called We Are Entrepreneurs. This was about 6 years ago now. And at the time, my LinkedIn was doing really well. I started to get viral posts, the rest of it. Never made money from it, because I made mistakes with We Are Entrepreneurs. Now, my plan was, I wanted to create an education system. I know there's loads of online course platforms and the rest of it, but really this is open-minded education. It's taught from people within the field, not from people who are just trying to sell you nonsense, which I'll probably talk about more in this video. So basically I spread myself too thin. That's the mistake that I made with We Are Entrepreneurs, because I was trying to run events, I was hosting an online entrepreneurial community, I was running webinars, I was building the website, I was doing the marketing, I was recruiting coaches, I was trying to introduce members. It was absolutely stupid. And the reason that I'm sharing this with you is because that went on for 3 years. And again, this is probably influenced by thinking and growing rich. Because what I learned with that is it's not just down to thinking. It is not just down to believing. And it's not just down to executing, because trust me, I was executing, I was working hard. But you know the mistake that I was making? I was executing in the wrong direction, or I couldn't execute enough in the direction that I needed to go in. So that's a mistake that I made with that business. So basically We Are Entrepreneurs at that time was on pause. I put it on pause. The pursuit was absolutely relentless. It made me depressed. It was just non-stop. It was absolutely just non-stop. And it was not a fun time in life. And that's why now actually I've decided, you know what, as well as trying to run businesses, I want to just have fun on YouTube and have a laugh and just be myself. And that's exactly what I'm going to do with this channel. I'm going to take the piss. I'm going to share journeys. I'm going to share education. I'm going to create comedy videos and basically just be myself. Simple as that. So we continue. So then I got, I also worked at another friend's car dealership. I was buying and selling cars, and did that for a while just to keep myself afloat financially. And then I got involved in car leasing. Now, before I was a sales executive at Mercedes and Volkswagen, but I'd never done the leasing side of cars, of business. So I got involved in car leasing. One of the probably at this time most successful car leasing companies in the UK. I did that for around 6 months, and then I left because, like I said, always wanted to work for myself. I'm doing it to gain knowledge ultimately. And then I started my own car leasing company, again from what I learned in that industry. Now I've made mistakes again, and I'm actually still, this has taken us to kind of where I'm at now in the journey of where I'm at now. So to fill you guys in with where I'm at, around, 7-8 months ago, I decided I was going to set up my own car leasing business, called it Buzz Leasing. And this was, again, based on what I learned, because you can upsell, and ultimately then the customer doesn't get the best deal. So although they come in on the best deal, they don't always end up with the best deal. So basically my idea with Buzz Leasing, at the moment the website's not active because I've had to pull it off, cash flow issues. But my idea here is basically, no upsells, no add-ons, so the customer truly gets the best deal. Partnered with dealerships around the UK. And also another thing that I realized from the journey, what I've decided to do with any business or any journey that I go on, I basically just want to do good things. And I've learned that you can actually implement that within the structure of a business. To give you an example, with Buzz Leasing, what I've decided is I want to donate 10% of all profits to bees. That's just because I want to give back. I want to do good. The same with this YouTube channel. What I'm going to do is keep people up to date with everything that the channel brings in, finances. I want to do good things. I want to have fun things. I do want this to be a fun journey. So I want to create fun videos with the money that the YouTube channel brings in. And like I said, ultimately just be myself and have a laugh along the way, and hopefully help some people, sharing some honesty, because there's too much BS out there nowadays. So, so I've got Buzz Leasing. Now also, I met a friend about 2 years ago who's an accountant. So I've also got an accountancy company that I'm working on. Early days with him, but looking good. He's a wizard with accountancy. A huge thing that I learned is if you're, and now obviously I'm talking about business here, but it's, you know, it's just something that I love, so I just want to share everything. If you're thinking about going into business or running your own business, be very careful about the person that you choose to work with, if you choose to work with someone. I've had numerous partnerships in the past and numerous have broken down. Still friends, best friends with the people today, fortunately, but it doesn't always end up that way. So, you know, I've got an accounting company, like I said, but we met under business terms, decided to go, into business together. And also an SEO agency. This is because over the last 10 years, I've had a lot of websites, done a lot of stuff on Google, needed to get ranked for certain businesses, certain projects, spent countless money on Facebook myself, wasting money. But I mean, I say wasting now, the truth is it's never wasted because I learn. And I learned a lot about Facebook marketing along the way, even though I did waste thousands, I have to say, in terms of results. But it's, you know, ultimately it has worked with businesses now, with car leasing and the leads that we've pulled in with Facebook and AdWords and the rest of it. But I'm not going to go into that now because that's boring stuff for this, especially for an intro. So, so basically that's exactly where I'm at now. So, at very early stages of an accountancy company, feel like I'm partnered with the right person. I'll keep people up to date with how that goes. He's super into no code, so he's really focusing on customers and helping them build pie charts and be able to basically make the process seamless and actually create more value. That's the kind of person I want to be working with. Buzz Leasing currently on hold, cash flow issues in the business, and obviously it's lockdown times, import issues, so I'm going to wait to see what happens with that over the next few months really. SEO agency again, early days, but looking promising. I'll keep people up to date. And also, We Are Entrepreneurs and We Are Education. Now, to give, this has been a journey, like I said, that We Are Entrepreneurs, it made me depressed, it really did. For a long time, like it was difficult, but there's just something in that business that I just can't let go of. And it's not about the business, it's the education. And this, like I said, I don't know if I mentioned it, but this is from my school days. And wanting this entrepreneurial education, a business education. So basically, what was it, probably 2 months ago, I decided to start the network again. And now what I'm also working on is another platform called We Are Education. And basically what I'm doing here is partnering with authors, coaches, and they can upload audios, books and courses to the platform. Now, the reason that I've done this is because there are far too many people who are ultimately just ripping people off with courses nowadays. Online courses, get rich, all this nonsense and charging thousands for it. And basically what I believe is happening, and this is pretty much a pandemic what's happening right now in the online space, in this get-rich space, is a reverse pyramid, is a reverse system of multi-level marketing. So instead of getting millions of people, thousands of people to pay a small amount, all you do is get a handful of people to pay you a fortune. And this is why there's nonsense of upsell. So you buy in, pay $100, and then you buy this next package, which is $500. Then this is $5,000, and then this is $20,000. And then it's like, you join this mastermind group, then you join a super mastermind. And then if you pay $100,000, you can buy a double super gold mastermind. It is absolutely ridiculous. So with We Are Education, what I want to do is I'm basically working with people in the field. So about 2 years ago, I wrote a book on sales. And that was really because of my experience. You know, I mean, I've been doing business literally since I was 20 years old. I've been selling since I was 7 years old. When I used to pick flowers from the neighbours' gardens, crush them up and sell it back to them as perfume. Obviously, I'm joking in terms of length of experience of sales, but you know, I did start my first business when I was 20, and I have been hustling when I was younger. Did well in car sales, learned car sales in terms of leasing, did well there, blah, 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 blah. Anyway, the whole point of that is I wrote a book about all of my experience basically in car sales and how I believe that you can sell without using pressure selling. That's why I call it Master the Art of Zero Pressure Selling. The reason that I'm telling you this is because you know, there's people out there who could say, "Oh, I want to create a course with this." What they'd recommend you to do is, "Oh, do you know what you should do, Simon? You should package your knowledge, and then you should create a course, and then you should charge people $997 for that course, and then when they buy into it, they learn your knowledge, and then they can sell your course to their friends, and then you pay them 40% commission." That is basically what people are doing. So instead, I decided to just write a book about it. And what I decided to do was create a platform now where you can share that knowledge and not rip people off. So again, early days, this was a journey, and it's going to be a journey in the future. And I'll share what I'm doing, how it's progressing. If it is, touch wood, could make more mistakes, could fail again. Who knows? I'll share all my failures. I'll continue to share failures. At the moment, I've partnered with like 5 coaches, teachers, not coaches, mentors, whatever you want to call it. Basically, to give you an idea, so an accountant from the BBC who used to work at the BBC wrote a 30 modular accountancy course teaching people the basics of accounting. Nathan, my friend, worked on loads of websites, wrote a video course, a 30-day SEO course teaching people how to rank their website. Going to continue the partnerships. We're charging $9 a month to join We Are Education. That gives people now access to We Are Entrepreneurs as well, which is the exclusive entrepreneur community. The idea with this is there's no ads on the network. We don't harvest data. We don't sell data to people. It's giving people back control of their data, basically. So it allows people to, it's like I said, basically this is an old school Facebook. So it allows people to connect, message, create a profile. You can upload latest projects, stuff that people are working on. It's a good way for people to network within the entrepreneurial space. And also with We Are Education, people get access to the books, my sales book, the courses that we've got there. Obviously it's very early days. But it's going to be a continuous journey. There is going to be no upsells, no add-ons, no nonsense, none of these secret mastermind groups and super duper, all the rest of it. None of that. It's really to help people with their education and to save them money not getting ripped off. And hopefully to save them a load of time as well, because this is going to be people who've actually been there and done it, not just saying they have and then selling you how to do it. So I'm going to leave this here. That is who I am. I don't know whether I said the date, but it's Wednesday, March the 17th, 2021. I've let my hair down for the first time on video ever. This is my first YouTube video ever. I've been absolutely 100% honest with you guys. If you want to subscribe, that would be awesome, because this is going to be a journey. I have absolutely no idea how this channel is going to go. I do have hope, because I want to have fun. I want to make people laugh. I want to share truth. And also, just to finish, can't remember whether I mentioned it, like I said, with this YouTube channel, when I start to monetize it, do intend on in the future, I want to have fun with the videos and do cool stuff with the money that the YouTube channel makes. I want to give back and yeah, kind of just create happiness along the journey. Boom, rock and roll. To everyone out there who's watched this, have an awesome day. If you're a subscriber in the future and you've watched this, you are a legend. Peace.